Hi, I'm Antonio.
And I'm Banderas. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, go. Seriously.
Okay. Hi, I'm Michael.
And I'm Scott. And welcome to Two Fat Beaches.
We're not on a beach, but we are PHA
T.
T.
I got to it first. That's not our real intro, but we're gonna go with that.
I don't remember actually what it is.
We need to figure this out.
We still haven't learned from our last video what our intro has been. But one thing we did learn is to not eat chewy stuff on there. So today, for the holiday, we will be dining on
Dry cookies.
Ah, the ghetto!
In a can. If you know what, we're gonna move the lid. Oh God.
Okay.
There we go.
Made moist with Diet Mountain Dew.
Holidays. And also, we have to give a shout out to my lovely sister-in-law who made us a logo on wood, some kind of wood. I don't know what this is. But you know, what's in your cup? With two fat beaches.
That's being held up by an old school Super Nintendo.
Mini.
Because, you know, we're that geeky. It's what we do. We're the nerds that care. So anyway,
Yes.
this is ridiculous.
What's the joke?
I literally forgot what I was going to talk about.
2022.
Oh, is that what's in our cup today?
New Year. Yes.
Oh, yes. So, what is in your cup today? We're going to do just a few highlights, some well-known, some probably not.
Also lowlights.
Some highs and some lows of 2022 and kind of what we're looking forward to in 2023. So,
Maybe some resolutions. Do you do those? Of course you do.
oh, I say my resolutions all the time. Whether I follow through, it's a completely different story. If I did, I would have been 100 pounds lighter than where I'm at right now.
I have a cookie about it.
It's the only response I know.
That is funny.
Finally, something loves me.
Okay. So thinking back on 2022, it has definitely been an interesting year. I know a highlight for me, and it affects me, but it isn't something that was like directly like for me or that everybody knows. But the organization that I worked for that has been in the same spot for 23 years and has struggled so much to become a larger, more prominent organization in our town, to finally get to the point where we have doubled, almost tripled our staff, to the point where we officially moved into a much larger, much nicer building. And it is just, it's lovely. And on top of that, I get to work from home half the time. So, whoop for me.
Honey, I'm everything.
So that's a personal highlight for me. What's a personal highlight of 2022 for you?
Oh, personal highlight? God, I don't feel like anything good happened in 2022. To me personally, I'm gonna have to think about it. I don't know. What good happened?
Well, let's look at it. Did something happen did you do something good to the house? We know the bad one. We're going to talk about that later. But do you know the good things that happened to your house? Like, did you start laying the groundwork for your new patio?
Oh, I mean, I did, like, take out that tree that was rotting and was gonna fall. And so, yeah, I guess I got the house more in order and somewhat decorated, although there's still things I want to buy and spruce up, but I can never talk someone into going into IKEA with me to help me pick out things.
No, no.
So yeah, I guess I mean like the house is in order. I mean, everything's fine. I didn't get sick. And nothing bad happened, I guess, to me.
I'd have to say, as far as health for me, I literally started off 2022 with COVID pneumonia. Like literally started off the year, the first week of January with COVID pneumonia. And I've had my ups and downs health wise. But for the most part, I think I've had a lot of ups than I have had downs.
Yeah.
And this is even after I tried to do the whole face mask night thing that did not work. Why did I call it a face mask night thing? Pap smear.
Hilarious.
I had a pap smear on my face.
Your nighttime pap smears, yeah.
CPAP machine. It was not for me. We tried many different ways. It was not for me. But I do have to say, there. A big highlight for me is obviously Beyonce released Renaissance. Although we're going to stop it there because I know that many people are still upset that 6 months later she has not released a visual. She has not done what traditional singers feel they have to do to showcase their work.
I'm just not ready for all of this. It's just...
And I say that because she has already proven who she is and what she can do.
Oh, Lord. Again. A fucking again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit.
She does not need... I would say the same thing for Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey could drop an album and not do anything else with it. Why would she need to?
No, I just love that. I love that there's going to be every video, the 10-minute conversation
about Beyonce, yes.
Where inevitably, once again, your voice gets louder as you get more angry that people are just not
I'm working on
supporting in the way that you would like.
It's not so much that I don't. It's not that I want people to support her the way that I want her to. I just want people to be fair in the analysis when it comes to Beyonce, just like I try to be fair in my analysis when it comes to Britney, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Christina Aguilera, Pink, Ariana Grande, and all of them. I try to be very fair.
And no men.
Huh?
And no men.
Are there male singers?
I said what I said.
None that are...
Sam Smith? Does that count?
I don't think he identifies as male. Dean
They?
Lewis.
Who?
Dean Lewis. John Mayer without the skis. Think of that. And he's German.
Now, when it comes to music, I'm more old schooly. I don't listen to a lot of like I know like Harry Styles and
I don't know shit about Harry Styles.
I
could not tell you.
I know that
song.
name.
Yeah.
I know he does something about watermelon, which I don't know. There's a song about watermelon.
I heard that was
crazy.
an innuendo. I don't know. Wait, was that Harry Styles? I thought that was the one who was locked out of heaven.
Johnny Bone? No. Oh, crap. I really do need to get it to my mail. It's the short guy who did that. Yes, the Locked Out of Heaven.
Yeah.
He did that.
He did
Don't
Watermelon.
Leave Me Just Hide. And something where he called somebody a bee. And there was a big thing where he was doing something. Now wait, bitch, or something like that. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Look it up. You have a phone. We have that technology.
Bruno Mars?
Yes.
Okay.
See, I knew it was a bee. But yes, Bruno Mars. I enjoy a couple of Bruno Mars songs.
I like the Locked Out of Heaven song. I mean, that's because I like the way it's sung, not maybe what it says.
Historical sidebar. I never heard that. Was not a fan of that song until one night when I was living in Illinois. I had left the TV on. I left my TV on or on YouTube or cycling through videos, and I was asleep. And I heard through my dreams him perform that song live. I believe it was on SNL. So it came in my dream and made me feel so happy. And ever since I had become obsessed with that song. I'm not as obsessed with it about it as now, but like it's just funny how I heard that in my dreams, and then ever since I was just like, oh my god, I need to hear the song over and over and over. But yes, Bruno Mars. I mean, but let's just face it. You know, I'm stereotypical gay. I live for the divas. The divas are where it's at. So
The divas and the dolls.
divas and the dolls.
No, no.
But yeah, to get back to the whole thing, I just want people to be fair in all analysis. You know, use critical thinking skills. You don't have to like somebody to, and not be able to understand. Like, okay, I may not enjoy the type of music this person this person produces, but I cannot deny that their cultural influence, the impact that they've had, and so on and so on. Mm-hmm. I can't. And it upsets me when people do stuff like that. It's like, well, she just makes bad music. No, she doesn't make music for you. That's what that means. Mm-hmm. Because everybody likes to be like, oh, you think she's better than everybody? No, I don't.
I'm not that person.
Because I think Brandy is a phenomenal singer. She has albums that I've absolutely loved. You know how I feel about Mariah and Whitney and all of that stuff. It's just that when it comes to Beyonce, I reach for her more because I connect with her more.
I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now this bitch, you see how he gets every time I bring up Beyonce, rolls his eyes. But what you don't know is behind the scenes. As much as I talk about Beyonce, he goes just as hard for Mariah Carey. So don't let him fool you.
Oh yeah, but I admit that sometimes she's a mess.
I said what I said.
Well, the thing is, they're both humans. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to do stuff that's like, okay, that's not.
I don't know.
I
don't know that I go as hard as you do.
I was shocked, honey. I was in tears almost.
Now, one common critique I would say about Beyonce, and then we can move on from her, that people often don't like when people say that I go hard for Beyonce. I do in a lot of aspects. One thing I don't go hard for her on is, do I think she's the best actress? I think in some of the movies that she has done a good job. Has she performed Angela Bassett levels, Regina Hall levels? No.
I said what I said.
If she was cast in a movie, would I go watch it because she's in it?
It's the only reason we watched Obsessed or whatever that movie was called.
But she got to fight in that one, so I was okay with that one. Because, she threw down. Boom. But it was just... Acting is not her strongest point. And as a fan, even I can admit and say, But putting on a show, performance, and I will fight. I will die on a hill for that one. I will die on a hill. Okay. Highlight from you.
Highlight for me was getting to talk about Beyonce every week.
So I'm just trying to stay calm.
No. Let's see. Entertainment-wise, highlight for me. I mean, I have two. I'm very torn. One hasn't happened yet, but I'm gonna use my vast psychic powers to predict it's gonna happen in the last week of the year. I think the highlight for me though, Real World Homecoming, New Orleans.
Oh Lord, again.
We talked about it on here, and I think that's been the highlight for me. But my predictive the voices, the vibes. The real highlight will be when Coco Kane wins Dragula Titans. Editor's note, put it here if I'm right. But yeah, Real World Homecoming New Orleans. I think that was my entertainment highlight. I mean, I'm trying to think of music because I could give two fucks about Taylor Swift. I don't like her. I mean, I'm sure that she's lovely. I don't like the music. I liked one song about 10 years ago. I did like Renaissance. I thought it was good. I mean, it didn't induce a seizure but I enjoyed it. Joywave's live album, great. They're finally coming to town.
Who?
Joywave is my favorite band. Which is why who talks more about their favorites. Yeah. I think entertainment-wise... Halloween... Well, no, that's a low light.
We can dip into some low right now.
Dip a low?
Dip a low.
Oh, Christina Milian. Where did she go?
Hopefully enjoying her royalties if she got them.
She didn't get royalties.
Poor thing. But you do know that Vanessa Williams, Vivica Fox, and Ashanti is in a new Christmas movie.
Okay, you have talked about Vivica Fox for this channel. For this channel, we have to at some point watch the Wrong series from the Lifetime movies, where inevitably there is just a scene. There's let's say the movie's called The Wrong Cheerleader because there's a movie called The Wrong Cheerleader, and Vivica Fox is in all of them. And somehow plays not the same character. They're nothing to do with each other, but they're all Vivica Fox. And she always has the moment where she looks to the camera and dead ass says the title of the movie. For instance, in The Wrong Cheerleader, she, they're solving the mystery of who the murderer is. And then she goes, oh, they messed with the wrong cheerleader. We have to watch all of them. Michael... blank, so we're not saying real names. We have to watch it. I cannot even.
I'm just not ready for all of this. It's just...
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Michael Starbooty, remember?
Oh, Michael Starbooty and Scott Honeypot?
Scott Honeypot, Michael Starbooty.
Yeah.
So if you ever see in the future, it says starring Starbooty and Honeypot. I'm Starbooty.
I'm Honeypot.
Maybe I thought we should just do it from now on.
Oh, okay.
That's our new introduction.
I'm just going to say fake names every time.
And this doesn't have to be a name. I'm a can of pop.
I'm Armchair.
That's what we can look forward to in 2023. I'm interested in watching these movies because...
Oh my God, Michael, you're going to die.
I've never seen any of these, so I don't know.
And they're so bad. They're so bad. Like, they're making salad for dinner, and there's just an empty pot on the table, and they're just like, that was good. It's so... Oh my God. We have to.
I deserved another cookie.
We have to. Okay. Anyway.
Ow.
Yeah, they're hard.
That's a really chomp into that.
Just take a hole.
I'm a lady.
Anyway. The other highlights, 2022?
I did win an award at work. That's a personal highlight. I won the Renaissance Award. Period.
Honey, I'm everything.
Period. I just let the kids do it. Period. Point blank.
Period.
Okay, snap, crackle, and pop. God, we're so hip.
It's getting litty.
Just so hip. Okay.
Oh, I can't do all that here. Anyway.
I'm trying to think movie-wise. I don't think there's been there really any... I mean, Black Panther was... I went to go see Black Panther, and the second movie, and it was... My experience was marred by the fact that somebody thought that it was okay to bring a baby into the theater that liked to cry every 10, 15 minutes for about 5 minutes. And the parents felt that, that clearly wasn't a sign that they needed to just go ahead and pack it up and leave because they were dead set on watching the movie.
It's clear the Supreme Court has never been to a movie theater.
So, other than that, I haven't watched a lot of... I did see The Terrifier. If you've never seen,
Oh, I heard that I won't make it.
you won't make it.
That's what we should do. Sometime we should watch that just until the point where I go, that's enough. I've had it.
Oh no, we're gonna do it all the way. About to say, there, pry your eyes open.
I don't do bloody movies.
Oh,
like,
it
very
is
bloody, and I've heard it's disgusting.
It's enough to me to go, okay, you know what? We're gonna pause this, and we'll get back to this later.
So my friend Beth said, and she loves gory movies.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I couldn't. I had to take a moment. I was like, oh shit, I won't make it.
Yeah, it is definitely. It's one of those movies where you think you've seen everything, but then it's introduced to something. So, like, in a lot of sense, it's very unique. There's just a lot about the movie that I was just like, wow. For a low-budget film, this was, wow. They did a really good job of grossing you the F out. Really good job. Other than that, I don't know. There wasn't really a lot of high points when it comes to movie or television. I spend a lot of times watching other people react to stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what. I mean, I'm very much looking for. I mean, well, that'll come later when we're talking about 2023. But 2020, yeah. I mean, there was. When did Scream 5 come out? Was it January?
Was it? This year has gone by so fast. There's stuff that I'm probably thinking of.
I think it was because I remember telling Nate in the hospital, or it might have been late December.
When did that one, and when did Multi-Universe of Madness, Doctor Strange, come out? Because this year has gone by so quickly.
I know.
That I feel like there's stuff that happened that I'm thinking happened last year that literally could have been like anytime between January and June.
Scream was January. January 14th.
Okay, I did see that. It was good.
I liked it.
It was good.
Yeah.
Wasn't the best.
I mean, it was very, we've talked about it. I think we've talked about, like, it was just very obvious.
We could have. Just so everybody knows, there have been some stuff that we have filmed that have not seen the light of day because of situations.
Oh, actually, yeah, I guess I don't know when we... Oh, wait, I think that was an unreleased.
Yeah. So, maybe I might do an old school back in the day.
Oh, I'm going to do Homecoming.
Wait, did I see that one?
I didn't know that he was still making... Oh, the Batman was this year?
Batman. I did like the Batman. I like where they're going with the Batman. I don't like where they're going with Catwoman.
Oh, my God. How could I... Like, I think the best movie of the year, probably, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, my God!
Yeah.
That has to be the movie of the year for me. That movie was absolutely delicious.
It was so good. And yeah, so it would have been Multiverse of Madness this year. Because, yeah, it was like May or something.
Okay, then that would have been my second. I love Scarlet Witch. It was I enjoyed it, and I know that there was people had a lot of issues with it. But to me, a lot of people that I've encountered, not all, but a lot of people I've encountered, the whole deal with she's too strong and
she's supposed to be
all the crap that comes with what people like to say about a lot of the women in Marvel.
Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit.
But I enjoyed it because, like you said, she's supposed to be that strong.
And I mean, let's be also honest about something. I mean, if you look at the entire Marvel movies, I will go. I'd not even on a ledge. I mean, Elizabeth Olsen is by far the best actor.
Oh God, yes.
I mean, the only thing that made me upset was that just WandaVision was so good, and it was so much about, I guess, I don't want to say the journey of healing trauma, in a way, that it felt like the Multiverse of Madness movie kind of cheapened, in a way, the ending of WandaVision.
Well, and I know we talked a little bit about this. I don't know if it's on one of the release.
Who the hell knows? But... Oh my God! No one, all those people that I watch on YouTube, and I'm like, you've already talked about it.
But we're gonna talk about it a little bit more.
I get it now. I get it.
But I always felt like she did, like, It was about her. She didn't necessarily deal with the grief. I think by the end she recognized that the way that she, how she lashed out and treated that trauma was wrong. Like she understood that there was trauma towards the end, and she went off to figure out how to deal with it. But at the same time, she had a copy of The Darkholme, which is known to influence and eventually like possess or take over the person who was reading it. So I feel like she went through the whole thing. She went through WandaVision. By the end of WandaVision, thanks to Miss Harkness, Agatha all along helped her realize her trauma, and that and that what she was doing was wrong. And then when she went to go and figure it out, she started reading The Darkholme, and it warped her mind, her already fractured, trauma-filled mind that she has not been able to properly heal with any type of, therapy or anything. And it warped her into believing that she could have it all back if she did these things. And then that's when she launched into, I can have my children back. I'm going to do what I can to bring back that joy and peace that she felt within her trauma. And she wanted it back even more, being warped by the book. And that's what the whole multiverse of madness was the idea that she was being warped and thought into having it all again. And then at the very end of it, when she scared the children, and she finally once again snapped out of that same mindset that she was in WandaVision, that was like, I made the wrong decision again. And then I think that's when she finally was just like, she's done. Whether she's dead or not is another story. But I think at that point she just realized, like, she literally has turned herself into the big bad monster that she didn't want to be the big bad monster. She just wanted to be a mother, and she was willing to do whatever and take out whoever was in her way for her to be a mother again, because she missed that feeling. And like I said, The Darkholme is literally made to corrupt the person that reads it. So it was the whole thing with Dr. Strange was talking about, and then when he got the eye and all that stuff, the corruption. So I think it was a great look at, it wasn't necessarily we're going to, go back on everything that was going on in WandaVision. It was more of what happens when a person what happens when a person goes through that traumatic experience, doesn't get the help that we know that they need, and is now being corrupted by a power that is greater than them. And this was the end results. But the fact that by the end she was still strong enough as an Avenger, as her character, to finally recognize, I fucked up again. Royally this time.
I see what you're saying, and I understand like the whole corruption of Strange thing, but I wish that, and Marvel, I mean, they have a history of power corrupting only the female characters. In a way, I mean, that's literally the point of like the Dark Phoenix saga is, it corrupted her, but other people that have had it, particularly who are males, don't have that same result. I don't know.
Well, the other Doctor Strange was corrupted and evil because he tried to kill our Doctor Strange, and he was talking about how it's corrupted because that's how their world came to be.
Oh, the one where they fight with the
musical
notes.
instruments. Yeah, he was corrupted by, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the down below, but I believe that he talked about how he was
just
corrupted.
An evil version.
No, he was corrupted by the Darkholme as well.
Oh, I don't know, but you know what I'm saying.
But yeah, there tends to be a lot of
like Marvel loves that shit, and I don't know. I think it's kind of tired in 2022.
Well, once again, I try to look at things in a way that I try to understand things and troops and stuff like that. Because there are inherently a lot of evil male characters in everything.
That's true.
There are a lot of evil male characters that are just inherently evil. And I don't know if Hollywood's just trying to say women aren't inherently evil. Something always pushes them to be
evil.
that way. as a last straw, where men typically are just evil,
bad.
are just bad. And and then when you, like I said, when you look at Scarlet, when you look at, Agatha Harkness' story, she was not as far as I know, she was not a bad character until her whole Covenant family tried to kill her. Instead of helping her understand her powers, they tried to kill her. And then she ended up retaliating back. And I still don't think she was a bad witch. I just think that, like she said, she just takes powers from, in her mind, she thought the Scarlet Witch was abusing the powers that she had. And in her mind, Agatha's the person that takes the magic away from bad people. But unfortunately, Scarlet wasn't bad. She was just going through trauma. Not just hurt, but she was going through trauma. And all that jazz. And then the same thing with Scarlet Witch. It wasn't, her thing was and this kind of upsets me in the whole, why does she have to base all her whole thing, that if I had to say anything was wrong, why should she have to base everything on the fact of being a mother as a woman? Like, I get it once you have children, all that jazz, but they literally made a whole movie about a woman wanting to become a mother again. And that was why she went evil. Or turned to the dark side. Because she tried to give him chance after chance. Just give me the little girl.
Just do this and everything will be fine.
And literally, that's what she said.
Oh, yeah. So that scene of her being like, just remember, this is me being reasonable. I have had that conversation with people. Like, yeah, just moi. But yes, the long-winded way of getting to, I think the best movie of the year for me, either Everything Everywhere All at Once. I will fully admit I have yet to see The Woman King, but I heard it was amazing, and I would watch Viola Davis read the phone book to me. I mean, it is on my list, but I don't like going to theaters anymore. I will go. This is going to sound so bad. I will go in 2023 because I really want to see Megan. I cannot wait for murdering animatronics. Yes, we can do the dance. That could be our first try. Is the dance.
Yeah.
And then with the cutting board thing, it's great. Anyway,
I would do the cartwheel, but I don't want to show anybody else.
No. I mean, I don't want to make the audience feel inadequate by our cartwheels. Worst movie of the year. Go. Speak on it. I already know mine. If you steal, I'm going to be so mad. I'm just going to say mine. Halloween Ends. Worst movie of the year. Worst movie. And the thing is, it could have worked. There was a way to make what they did work. They just didn't do it.
So, okay.
Worst movie of the year. Overall.
Okay, so because I have a worst movie and I have a worst TV show.
Oh, yeah, I also have a worst TV show. We'll do
But the movie, okay, I'm going to have to say it. We discussed it earlier. Hocus Pocus. I'm sorry. To me, it was bad enough that I could not, or the second Hocus Pocus, I could not make it through the whole movie. I had to turn it off. People know, we love the original Hocus Pocus. We love it. We can quote it. Mm-hmm. It is a staple, especially within the queer community. It is a staple. Yeah. I just could not do that movie. I couldn't. I could not do the second one. I could not. I just couldn't.
Let's not say that.
Halloween End. It should have already ended. Yeah, it should have already ended. Well, if I do have to say second, it wasn't a bad movie for per se. To me, it wasn't a bad movie. It was one of those movies that was like, this is what we decided to go with. This is how we're going to end up. All right, I guess that's what we're doing.
I mean, if they really wanted to introduce a new story, right? Because you know that this is not the final Halloween. I mean, it's not the final Halloween movie.
Should be, but
what they could have done was they could have kind of in the first part of the movie is the final thing between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. You get that ending, right? then you get the evil corrupting the kid who becomes the new Michael Myers, and then that leads you to the next few movies, right?
What they did.
But then, like, they mixed it all together, and then the other guy dies, so that means inevitably when they bring back Michael Myers, it's just going to be nothing.
There's just really no way they can bring back a Michael Myers. I mean, at the most, what they could do, because luckily it is a Halloween series and not like a, Jason. I guess even there were Friday the 13th. So luckily they have it to where they can literally create another evil entity under the Halloween franchise, which I would prefer them to do, like you said, if they had did it with that boy. But if they try to bring back Michael Myers himself, I'm out.
Well, yeah, because they have the guy who owns the rights or the producer. I'm not sure what he does. Well, now it's his son. But it's written into every movie contract of like basically allowing them to use the character that you cannot kill him because like that's his money. So I don't know if it wasn't written into Halloween Ends. I don't know if that means that.
Lord,
you know what I mean?
He switched another body again. If they use that old,
I don't know. But also like, some of the choices were just bizarre. Like what's the granddaughter's name? Allison. Mm-hmm. Like, again, there's no trauma on. There's nothing on her about her mom dying. You know what I mean? And there was nothing, and then like
the way she treated her grandmother.
Yeah,
it's just like, bitch, did you not just go? Y'all spent so much time denying that saying that she was crazy for everything that she's done and did, only to be proven for 2 movies. That she's been right all along, and y'all been gaslighting her, and then you continue to gaslight Laurie Strode, even in the last one. Because there was a couple times I wanted to tell the granddaughter, "Shut the f up." Oh, okay, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, and then even like I get that like Laurie had like gone to therapy and done like that stuff, but at some points I'm watching it and I'm like, why does this just feel like Jamie Lee Curtis? You know what I mean? Like, it didn't necessarily seem like she was playing Laurie Strode. It just felt like she was just on camera. Which maybe there's stuff I don't know, but I don't know. Worst movie. And I don't know if it was the worst movie because it was that bad or the worst movie because it was just disappointing.
The one thing I will say that I prefer Halloween H2O over the Halloween trilogy for the simple fact that in H2O, it was 20 years after the event. She went into hiding and all of that stuff. And at the end, she had to she basically was like, I'm tired of running. We're going to end this. And she went after Michael Myers. In the Halloween intro, now with no training, no nothing, pure instincts and will for survival, to end this and for survival. In the Halloween trilogy, she had, 40 years?
Yeah.
Where it made it in the beginning look like she done went through all this this training and all this other stuff. And she was just going to be this badass wielding, throwing kicks and darts and sword. Like she done trained her life for this inevitable battle with Michael Myers. For it to go down the way that it did. Like I felt like the H2O was a lot more believable in how her reaction to her final confrontation with Michael Myers than Laurie Strode of now was in her confrontation with Michael Myers.
I mean, I think they should have just only done the 2018 version. Like, to me, that one was fine. And like again, like you said, like of basically turning yourself into a weapon against this person. I think that they did that fine into the 2018 version. Mm-hmm. Like the house that's a trap, and I think that was fine. And then it was like you could tell they were like, well, actually, let's make 2. well, actually, we're going to turn it into a trilogy. Like the middle one, the second one, you could tell like it was just not part of the original story that they were going to go. I don't know. Worst movie to me.
No, and it's just half the time in the hospital while the whole town banded together to finally end this. It's like, I understood that he terrorized the town, but this was everybody was looking for the Michael versus Lori confrontation. Not the town. Even then, the town got their ass. Handed to them.
And I mean, let's not forget the legend, the MVP, the woman without iron. When the town is going after them and they all have the weapons and she's got her iron there.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
to you.
Boom. She's gonna be like this. She's gonna spin it like this, and then she's gonna spin it around, wrapping it, boom, and then she's gonna spin it like a boom. So we're gonna bring some of that everything, everywhere, all at once kung fu into it. Boom. Oh, good movie. Now, bad TV show.
Say, what's your worst TV show?
The current season of American Horror Story.
I haven't finished it yet. I heard it was really good.
No.
Everyone has said it was really good.
Could not get. I couldn't make it through the first episode, and I know everybody's like, "Oh, well, then you can't say that it's the worst series of all time." Let me tell you something. I am a person that will say I will take it. If I can't get into it after the second episode, I will not watch it.
Oh my God, you're a 5-year-old with a plate of broccoli.
I am. If I cannot, because I'm not gonna. I hate so like. If you're not going to be able to capture me within the first couple episodes, that tells me that you're not going to be able to hold my attention through the whole thing. And I know we have shows like, the original Buffy where we tell everybody, oh, you have to get through the first season, and then once you get past the first season, everything starts working out and all that stuff. But you also had like 22 episodes of character growth and all of that stuff. Nowadays, you're lucky with American Horror Stories if you have 10 episodes.
Oh yeah, so, they were like back to back, so it was basically just 4. It was like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Kinda.
So with that time, you need to catch me in the beginning. I could not connect with it at all. Period. I turned it off. It was just, to me, it was just awful. I could not get into it whatsoever. I'm sorry. Normally, I love Coven. My favorite is The Asylum. I loved quite a few of them, but these past few seasons have kind of been like, And I was going to do American Horror Stories.
Oh, I did. I only watched one of those, yeah.
And I watched all of them because it was better than last year's American Horror Story. Yeah, it was still not that. It wasn't like but it was much better than what it was last season. But American Horror Story, as a queer man of color, I could not get into it. I couldn't get into it. There was no connection to it for me whatsoever. And I know people are like,
I will say, the first, I think I made it through 2 or 3 episodes so far. And you're right, I don't remember anyone that's not white.
And I'm all about queer representation. I truly am, but...
one of the lesbians. One of the ladies.
Which is Sandra Bernhard. I love her. Don't get me wrong. I love Sandra Bernhard. Mwah. But...
Everyone was just playing themselves. Like, to me, like, I was just like, that's just Sandra Bernhard having a conversation. Or, like, Zachary Quinto doing coke and having people put, like, bar stools up themselves. I'm like, that's just Zachary Quinto on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Like...
And I mean, like I said, I want everybody to feel represented and be able to enjoy a show, but that show did not speak to me whatsoever, other than the queer identity, and
it was real good.
You could tell certain types of people were it. What's his name? Ryan Murphy. So Ryan Murphy confuses me because, like, you could tell he has a certain type when it comes to queer men.
Yeah.
When it comes to movies. But he also, I feel like he tries to be a champion for other minority. Like, because he was the one who was behind Pose.
Well, I don't know what like his role in Pose, but I know he was the person who got FX to do it.
Yeah.
But I
So,
don't
like,
know how much
Pose,
he goes around for like the day-to-day stuff.
Right. And so, like, I feel like he's trying to tell stories, but rather than merge and tell stories to where everyone that can watch it, it's either you're of this demographic and this was made for you, and then this demographic was made for you. And that's kind of my thought process on it. Now, keep in mind, I'm also a bad black gay because I've not seen Pose. Mainly because I feel like I've heard enough of it being talked about that it doesn't interest me to go like, oh, I'm going to start from the beginning and I'm going to watch this. There's a lot of shows that are like that I have not seen yet because I've seen so much people react or talk about it in real life. I'm just like, well, I already know what's going to happen, so there's no point in me at this point in time watching it. But I could not get into. Okay, so what is your...
my worst TV. I don't really I don't watch a whole lot of TV. I think my worst TV was Drag Race All Stars 7. Because I will say just, in all transparency, I'm very over Drag Race. I support all the contestants who have proven themselves to not be a complete piece of shit in their personal and political viewpoints. But I can't deal with that it's 1,000 years long and there's just it's just so obvious that I understand. I'm very well aware that reality TV is not real, right? I understand that. But I want to at least have this suspension of disbelief that something is not being completely manipulated by producers or hosts or whatever. And on especially Drag Race since moving to VH1, which now that it's going to be on MTV apparently, it's just over. It is like you watch the entire thing and it's just like, oh, this is just planned.
So it's becoming very formulated.
Yeah, it's just a formula and...
Didn't it start off on Out TV?
Started on Logo.
Or Logo? And
then when it moved to VH1, in the beginning it wasn't very obvious. And now it's just kind of like this... Not All-Star 7, and I'll talk about why that was so bad, but... Because the other seasons, I fully admit I don't watch anymore. I watched All Stars 7 because it was like the winners. And I thought that was kind of interesting, and I like some of them. There was one this past full season. They did you see the thing of like the chocolate bars?
No.
So basically the first episode, everyone picked a chocolate bar, right? They didn't get to keep the chocolate bar with them. It went somewhere else, and then if they were to get eliminated, someone would bring out the chocolate bar, and if it had a golden ticket, they got to stay, right? It was very obvious that it's just fixed. It's just fixed. It was always going to be the person... Well, actually, it was going to be the person who got hurt and had to go, who got disqualified, but it was always going to be the person. And there were 5 weeks where no one goes home, so just... drug on forever, and it's like, you're not doing this because you really think that person's gonna make it far. You're doing this because VH1 is paying you more money for more shows. I don't know. It's all very, it just doesn't feel genuine to me.
No.
And I'm glad that, there is a show about drag queens on, I don't want to say network television, but I mean, MTV is whatever. But also, we can't act like, oh my God, this is the first thing MTV's ever done, when it's like, no, they gave us Pedro. Fuck, Room Raiders had gay episodes, for God's sake.
What was the bus thing where you got off the bus? Oh my God. It was like the people would get off a bus or something and they would give the little intro.
Next.
Next.
They had
Lord,
Next.
And then there was the
Love
TV
Line,
show.
Undressed.
That's the show I was talking about. Undressed.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, like, yes, cool that there's a show about drag, but I mean, MTV throughout its history has been pretty queer. And so...
You bring up a good point about something. I need for places, peoples, and things to quit acting like they're the first to do something or have something or be something. And I bring that up because there was a queer movie that came out starring Billy, whatever his name is.
Oh, Bros.
Oh, Bros.
Oh, Bros. Actually, I should take it back. Halloween Kills was great. Worst movie of the year, Bros.
I have not watched the movie
Oh,
because, once again,
I
I don't connect to it. It's to me. And if you are a person who thinks critically, then you and actually can think for themselves, understand that there's a lot of queer movies that are generally for queer white men, mostly straight acting queer white men. There are a lot of movies. What I don't get is why they're trying to act like Oh Bros was the first movie of its kind. And I'm like, no, it was not.
No.
No, all these Dear Evans and all of that stuff. Like, we've had our
The mostly
teen queer
unfabulous
stuff.
social life of Ethan Green. It was, I think, the first rom-com
Edge
I
of
remember.
17, Beautiful
Oh,
Things. Like,
Beautiful
we've seen
Thing.
all of these young queer, situations going on. And I know a lot of people like to be like, well, this is about an out kid at school. We've had, TV shows and movies about kids who are out at school.
It's just because people in mainstream culture haven't paid attention until now that it's, like, cool. And in 2 more years, when it's no longer the in thing, they won't pay attention anymore.
Right. And I get that. But at the same time, don't try to herald yourself as being the first of that kind, because you weren't.
No.
You were not.
I mean, it was cool that Bros was, like, written by a gay or queer person and was in theaters. Because, I will say a lot of the other, like, rom-com-esque movies that I remember, I don't know that they were in theaters. But also, then they were like, it did real bad. And I'm like, who the fuck watches rom-coms in 2022? Is that still even a genre? Like...
Well, the Hollywood's starting to try to blame it on the MCU. I don't know if you've been reading articles about famous actors and directors who are coming out and saying everything is now, if you're not an MCU, you're not going to do big in the movie theater. And I'm just like, no, if you're not writing a good movie...
If you're a shit movie, you're not going to do good.
You're not going to
And I'm
do
sorry,
good.
like, I like Billy Eichner. I think he's funny. I think he's a good actor in the things that he's been in. I mean, Parks and Rec, he was great. The few seasons, I mean, he was one of the bright points of some of the American Horror Stories that he was in. I didn't like Bros. And also, like, there's that holiday movie with the guy from Ugly Betty that came out, I think, last year.
Didn't Trixie
and Katya did that, and I agreed with everything he said of, like, what queer people are these? Because I don't know these people. The person who's like, oh, I'm a 10 out of 10, but I'm just so lonely. And I'm like, what? And I'm so nice to everyone. Bullshit, that person would throw their coffee on us in public. Like, let's not play.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you want to get me to watch a queer movie or a queer show, because I'm at that point, I'm at that age and point in my life, and I don't know about you, where I grew up watching a lot of straight people still end up being gay. So people going out to talk about how gay movies and stuff makes kids gay. That's not true, because I'd be eating vagina right now if that was the case. But I grew up watching straight... That'll go into our after hours video.
I'm sorry.
But I grew up watching straight movies. And so as I became to understand who I was as a queer man, getting older and experiencing more, I wanted to see more. And then I started seeing more. And as we talked about, I started seeing more queer things, and granted, they were traditionally white male things. but they were still queer, and I was able to see something that represented a part of who I was, a queer man. And then as I got older and older and older and older, eventually years on out, they started producing content that was, like Noah's Ark and, movies like that were
DTLA?
now, yeah.
Oh,
So
great.
now I can see queerness and then see blackness combined, and that was exceptional for me. Then it got to the point where, people started. As we started progressing more, people were demanding more and more queer people in movies and queer representation. And I live for that. For me, I'm at that point, and this might make me a bad gay, but it's my opinion. I am at the point where I don't want to see a gay movie. I just want to see a movie that happened to have gay characters in it, and it's not any type of focal point of the movie.
Yeah, they're just being like authentic.
A beautiful representation is Schitt's Creek. I love the fact that the son, if you've never seen it, that's not my problem. But the son is pansexual, and it's never a focal point of his
It's just
character.
An aspect of it. Yeah.
It's just an aspect of it. That's what I want to see. The American Horror Stories, this current season, what turned me off was that, I don't know how to phrase this without using this, and I apologize.
Michael's about to get canceled.
I'm about to get canceled. But I literally felt like I'm having gayness thrown in my face.
It was real gay.
I was just like, this is super gay.
I was like, all the things that I have done, this is so gay.
This is so gay. Which I guess is great for other groups out there who need to see it. But for me and all the things that I've seen and stuff, this was too much. And please don't know conservatives go, if you're gonna use the soundbite, use it, all of it. This does not mean that, the gays are constantly throwing everything in my face, and even these gays think about it, because that's not the case at all. It's just that I'm at the point where I just want to see gay. I don't want it to be dumped all over my head that this is gay. What is that song? Gay, 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 gay. We used to do that all the time back in the day whenever we see somebody we were really problematic. So all the time back in the day when we see somebody that was really gay, we're like, that was gay, 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 gay. But anyway,
Why do you have to be so in our face about it?
Why? I just want to be able to turn it on, and I just want to be able to start getting to the point where I can watch movies, and it's just like, oh, okay, well, he's gay. Oh, okay, we're moving on. We're moving on. I am a World of Warcraft player, and despite all the stuff that happened in the past, they have went leaps and bounds to rectify all of the misogynistic, homophobic, racist stuff that had gone on, and have really turned this new expansion to be really inclusive. Like, I was doing quests that was just like, and this clan that was like, one person was like, yeah, I want to marry that man over there, but I need to figure out flowers and stuff. Please go around and ask. So you'll go around to all the leaders and they're like, oh, they're getting married? Great. This is the kind of stuff that you want to get. There was nothing about, oh my God, they're gay. Like, they didn't mention gay or do anything gay. They were just two gay NPCs that were trying to get married, and you had a quest to help them do the things to do it. That was it. There was nothing else to it.
Is player base still problematic?
Well, not as much now. It depends on what server you're on. I'm on a server that's very queer friendly. So
you're not on the MAGA server?
No, I'm not on the MAGA. I was on it at one point on one character, but I said nope. Nope. I saw them general chats and I was like, no ma'am. You ain't got to worry about me. You ain't got to worry about
Madison
me.
Cawthon did nothing wrong.
But I hope that understood for people that are watching, like, my stance on it. Yeah. I am always pro-gay, but I am ready to move to a point where I don't have to be pro-gay in every aspect of everything that I do watch or see. Just like I don't have to be pro-black. Like I'm tired of getting mad and not watching shows because they don't have a dark-skinned black woman in any type of role. I want to see more black women, especially darker, my skin tone or darker, in more prominent roles where they're playing powerful creatures or powerful witches or powerful people, or they're just not going through something traumatic, or they're not slaves, or they're not having to deal with their kids who are gangsters, and like I want to see these things.
And not that bullshit the Vampire Diaries did with Bonnie, where she's just at Confederate flag parades smiling and waving, but she's a powerful witch. No, we know she would have blown it up. Vampire Diaries, we know.
We ain't even gonna go there. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I just want to see. Like, I was really mad that they did not come out with that Buffy, because originally there was a big conversation about doing another Vampire Slayer, but centering it around a black Slayer versus a white Slayer, which would have been better than Kendra. Although I love Kendra, the Vampire Slayer.
I would have been fine with. I would have been fine with the casting. I'm totally fine with that. But I don't know that I want there to be another Buffy solely because I don't want Joss Whedon to get any more money. Because I think he's I think he's a monster. If there's a way to do it where he doesn't get any money, I'm all for it. But I don't know how that looks.
Or they could do something similar, because okay, we're a little over an hour, but
I know we haven't talked about 2023 yet.
Right.
Okay.
So here's how I'll start off 2023.
2023.
Okay, in response to what you were talking about with that.
Yeah.
I hope that in 2023 and beyond, we figure out a way to do these workarounds of these, because there have been TV shows and movies that have been instrumental to my growing up, or played a big part in my growing up in identity, that we always want to pass down and have the younger generation watch. And that's why I love watching reactions, the younger people watching older stuff like Vampire Diaries and Buffy's and all that, because you can you get to sit and enjoy and be like, oh, they're about to come to my favorite scene, let's see how they reacted exactly the way that I did. There's something magical and powerful about that. And I feel like with directors and stuff showing their true colors, and then us wanting to rebel against them, we're eventually denying a chance for people to experience and, see themselves in series or movies like we have been able to. So, like, I would love for there to be a black Slayer. That way, young girls can see, oh, there can be a black Slayer other than the girl with the dreads.
Kendra or Nikki.
Nikki, or the girl with the dreads, the potential. From the last
Rona.
Thing. But, like, I want them to be able to see, like, this is a, young black girl who has the burden of saving the world, over and over again, just like this young white girl, and then as a couple maybe can be an Asian girl. I want to be able to see this. But because of the problems that the original producer caused, as you said, you don't want to give him any more money.
Yeah.
So now we're cutting off a chance for the kids of now of being able to see stuff. Although I do want to point out that I feel like for the last couple episodes, you always wear something light.
Oh, I'm washed out.
And I'm always wearing something dark.
Oh, that's just happenstance. I actually did not mean to. I didn't.
And for future reference, I have more than one of these sweaters, which is why you see me in a lot of these videos. It's the weekend, so I'm just wearing it. It's my one Mogan, but I have multiple of these.
That's what we should do. The next episode, we should actually just wear the One Morgan sweaters.
I don't have the actual One Morgan sweater anymore. I couldn't even fit into it if I did still.
Well, we'll christen a new one for the new year. A new One Morgan. I know which one I'm going to wear.
Well. Hopefully, by the time we do our next episode...
We've had an hour and 10 minutes and we've talked about 2023. Not at all.
Oh, yes we did. We started off... We said we were going to start off with 2023, and that was my hope that we try to do that.
Okay.
What is your prediction?
My predictions for 2023, Simone Biles will come out of retirement so she can compete in Paris 2024. That's my prediction for 2023. We're going to continue to be generally, not we, Americans are going to continue to be generally terrible people who provide everyday examples of why we should all just be burned from the earth. Until one day we are, and then they try to act like victims. Oh, and I'm going to buy a hot tub.
Get out. No, seriously, get out.
Oh, okay. But we are here. Oh, do you have anything else about 2023?
Well, okay.
Let's
so
say one resolution.
My prediction.
One.
Well, I still got to do my
Okay,
prediction.
your
I'll
predictions.
do my prediction.
Ah, the ghetto.
You got 3. I couldn't even do 1.
Okay.
Wow.
So I'm just trying to stay calm. Just trying to be calm. That's all.
Beyonce will eventually win Album of the Year so she can shut everybody up. And that she will finally release the visuals to Renaissance. I know I just talked about she don't need to do any of that stuff.
Oh, Lord. Again. A fucking again.
But I want to see her do it. I get it with everybody. No, I just want to see a happy, healthy, slow year. But I think this year I'm taking a step back. I talked a lot this year about how I wanted to get out and do much, and I didn't. Mainly for financial reasons. But I think this year I really want to just step back out of the limelight and then try to figure stuff out from the back end. And then I really want to work on building this channel. I think I want to step back and work more on building this channel than trying to go out and experience the world.
I mean, at this point, like, I'm 39. You're
37.
not.
I said what I said.
Fuck you. We've seen the world. Like, it's the same. Although I will at some point. This next year, I want to go see the Big Ten Men's Gymnastics Championships. They're in Ohio, which is not that far, and then I can see friends in Ohio. Hi, friends in Ohio. I want to go. I might just maybe I'll just go to Dollywood. And I'll finally go to Dollywood. I don't know. We'll see. Also, I'll probably just sit around on my ass and not do anything. So.
We should take a trip to New Orleans. New Orleans. NOLA. I want to go to New
It's
Orleans.
not the summer.
Well,
I hear it's like.
We'll do a Halloween special. We'll go there for Halloween.
Oh, Samhain from Las Vegas. Jesus, New Orleans.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, we'll put that on. We'll put a pin in that one and see if we can work that out. Because I have to figure out what I'm going to do for my vacation in 2 weeks for work.
And we are very curious to know what your New Year's resolutions will be. Put them in the comments below. We will come through them with great intent and interest.
Yes, both of them.
And then be sure to hit the little subscribe button, click the little dingy bell, and somewhere around me or Michael right now is going to be a link. Click on it to watch something else that we've done. And where it's
somewhere around
there. It's giving us tingles.
So yes, other than that, I think we are good to go because I was about to say I'm hungry, but I'm not. I really want a Frosty.
I actually have like, I could have. We had Chinese buffet before this, and it was not very good because we've just not learned the lesson of don't go on a goddamn Sunday. And now I'm like, I could eat again.
I'm like, I just want a Frosty. I really just want a Frosty. But
so you gotta get Frosty. I will go find something, and you have a good time.